Clutter is quietly stealing your health, and not just your peace of mind, but your sleep, your energy, and your waistline. Look around your home right now. Is it set up to make you healthy or to keep you tired, stressed, and overeating?
Now, this podcast is for you if you're just carrying around extra weight and dragging through the day, getting sugar and energy drinks. But by the end of this podcast, you'll have a simple step by step declutter plan so both your mental and physical environments make low carb, whole food choices almost automatic.
So, I'm Dr. Steve Hewlett. I've been a doctor of pharmacy for 35 years and realized that pills are not fixing the real problem because the real problem is our food and our habits. So, my wife Teresa and I now we help people lose weight, decrease or eliminate the need for medications, get their energy back by changing what's on their plate and what's in their environment, not by living in the gym.
So, in today's podcast, we want to go through these 4 different things. So, we want to clear your mental clutter that keeps you stuck because our thoughts are super important. Next, our kitchen clutter, which can be bad. I've seen some bad kitchens.
And we've actually had a bad kitchen.
That's right. And that can make you overeat. And then we want you to build a simple health first environment so staying on track feels easy. And then we want you to start this week with just one small, hopefully non-overwhelming step.
And the first thing you need to do with your mindset really is you need to think of it as something that you want to do, not something that you're trying to get away from. So when you're going into a why, when you're trying to change your life, change your habits, when you put yourself like, I don't want to be like that anymore. I'm trying to get away from the old me. When you do that, you're actually putting stress in your body. You're making it more stressful, and that can actually make it a lot harder. So instead of focusing on your past, learn from your past, don't put emotion there, and think to your future. Don't think of the old, you think of the new person that you want to be. So it's not like you're being pulled. We want you to feel like you're being pulled to something that you really want to do, something that you really have a why and you want to do. That's what's going to give you energy. Don't be focusing on getting away from the old you. And some examples of this are like just terms that you use. If you ever hear yourself saying, well, I have to do this, I have to go to the store, I have to take the kids somewhere, I have to whatever, don't say I have to, say I get to, because seriously, every single day is a blessing and it's a gift from God. And so when you say I get to instead of I have to, it's going to give you more energy. And the same thing, instead of saying, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. And all that leads to is at the end of your life, you're going to end up shoulding all over yourself. And that's by Tony Robbins. And I loved it. But you don't want to end your life shoulding all over yourself. So instead of saying, I should have done this, say, I want to do this. So you're looking in the future. I want to do that. That gives you energy to actually drive you into actually achieving the goals that you're wanting to achieve.
If you have been following us for a while, you know we talk about CTFAR. And I'm just going to go over them quickly. C stands for circumstance. And so that is what is happening to you. There's nothing you can do. I mean, it's just happening to you. Yeah. We all have things that
you have no choice. It just happens.
Right. And then T stands for thoughts, which is where we're going with this. What do you think about that circumstance? We're going to be covering all this here in just a minute, but I just want to say what these are.
Yeah, we'll give you an example of what we're talking about.
And then the F is the feelings, because when you have a thought, you have a feeling about it. Just like he was saying, you know, if you have to versus you want to or you get to. So then you have your feeling, which creates your actions, makes you do things. And then what is your result? So what does your life look like because of what you have been doing?
And don't minimize the F in this, the feelings, because feelings, emotions, that is the concrete that solidifies where you are. That's why we always say if you've got a bad past, think about your past, but don't put feeling to it. Try to keep the emotion out of it, because the things that have happened in your past, that is you. That's what's made you where you are now. Use that to become where you want to go. But if you think about bad things that's happened in your past, and then you put in feelings and emotion, and you start remembering what you felt that way, it has sucked you into the past, and it's totally defeated what you're trying to do. So think about your past, failures or whatever in the past, think about them. Don't put emotion. Put emotion to your forward. This is what I'm going to do with what's happened to me in the past. So the feelings. So you have your circumstances. Your thoughts control your feelings. Your feelings will determine your thoughts. Determine your feelings. Your feelings determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. So the first thing you want to do, if you ever want to change anything, the first thing you have to do is change your thoughts.
Your circumstance. So let's say you're overweight. Now, if we were speaking with you personally, you would know. So the circumstance is exactly what it is. So you would be looking at your scale and you'd be like, I weigh 250 pounds. That is your circumstance. Okay. So what you know is if you know your ideal body weight, which we have a chart that actually shows what your ideal body weight is if you don't know what it is, but say it should be 130. Your thought is if you're overweight and also on medications.
Mm-hmm.
So your thought about that is maybe if like I'm 60 years old, well, I'm too old. I have tried so many times to lose weight. I still weigh 250 pounds and it just keeps going up all the time. And I should have focused on my health when I was younger. So these are the thoughts. And if you can tell, I don't know if you can tell by what I can tell by what I'm thinking, but or what I'm feeling by what I'm thinking is I'm not very excited. I'm not excited to try and lose weight. I'm not excited to go to the grocery store and get healthy food. I'm not excited to go for a walk. So that's how important our thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're feeling so now you're overwhelmed. We're just going to give you some examples that we've written down. So you're overwhelmed and probably exhausted. Maybe you're not even sleeping well because you are overweight. You're probably not even breathing well. You're confused because you're going online and we're saying go low carb, eat God-made food. Somebody else is saying go vegan. So you're confused and don't know what to do. And when you are confused and don't know what to do, what do? You do nothing. You do absolutely nothing but sit around, probably still on the computer, scrolling through social media, staying overwhelmed.
Still making the same choices that you made that got you where you are right now, which is making you unsatisfied. You know there's better. When you keep thinking the same thoughts, you're going to keep doing the same things.
Right. And your actions, we're going to use scrolling on social media. You're not doing anything. You're not getting up. You're not working out. You're not walking. You aren't preparing healthy meals. So what's your result? Well, you're still overweight, probably even heavier, and you're still on medications. So that's the old you. We don't want you to continue doing that.
So how do you change this? Okay. Like we said, whether it's the old you or the new you, your circumstances are still the same. You are overweight and you're on more medications than you want to be. If you're on any medications at all, that should be more than what you want to be. So you can't change the circumstances. That was the same in both situations. But what you can do is change your thought. So now what you want to do is say, I want to make time to focus on my health. That's the thought that you have right now is I'm going to make time. I'm going to focus on my health. I'm going to be a better version of me. So when you had that thought, all of a sudden that changes the feeling that's inside you. If you really do want this, it's going to change that feeling because now you're going to feel empowered. Now you're making decisions for the future you. You are on your way to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's very empowering. And that gives you more momentum instead of trying to escape from the old you. So you have the thought that you want to make focus on your time or on your health. You have the feelings that now you're empowered to make your own decisions. So what's the action going to be? You're going to make time to clear out your kitchen. You're going to make time to get rid of all the food that's keeping you unhealthy and switch it over to the food that makes you more healthy. And this is going to help both you and your family. When you do this action of clearing out the clutter, clearing out your refrigerator, clearing out your cabinets, clearing out your house, clearing out your mind and these bad thoughts, all of a sudden the results you're going to have now is you now have an organized kitchen. It's full of things that are going to help improve your health instead of make it worse. You're going to come closer to your ideal body weight, if not achieve it. And you're no longer going to be on medications. And that is exactly what really happens. And this all starts with your thoughts. You have to change your thoughts first.
That is where we can help you guys if you really wanted to work with us. So we'll have linked below our Thrive Naturally Transformation course, our TNT course, and we will have that linked below. We really go more into the thoughts with that. And we also talk about clearing out all the stuff we're talking about here, but we go into deeper in our course. So we'll have that down below if you guys would like to check that out.
We told you that we're going to give you some actionable steps, and that's exactly what we want to do. We're going to clear out your mental clutter that's keeping you stuck. We're going to clear out your kitchen clutter. Now, the mental clutter, I hope that helps. If you just realize you have to change your thoughts to something positive and in the future and something you want, not something from the past.
And don't think this is easy, because it isn't. It sounds simple. It's like, oh, well, I'll just start doing that right now, which you can, but it isn't easy. It takes practice.
Right. You've got to decide if that's a decision you really want to make. Then put your mind and your feelings, emotions to the future you of when you actually are able to make those changes that you want. And so that's the mental clutter. The kitchen clutter is the next thing. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next part of this, is exactly how to clean the kitchen clutter out of your house. Because you start cleaning the kitchen clutter, pretty soon you're going to clean other things, and your house is going to be nice, neat, and tidy, and so will your thoughts. But the main thing, we want to make sure to build simple health first environment. So we want to keep you staying on track. And again, like Teresa said, sounds easy. Okay. It is simple, but it's not easy. And so what we're going to do at the end is we're going to give you one small actionable step that's not overwhelming. So you can start as soon as you get done with this podcast, you know what you're going to want to do. And the first thing that we want to talk about is cleaning out your kitchen, because you have got to get the toxins out of your house. Okay. When you keep the toxins in your house, whenever you have emotions, whenever you have boredom, happiness, stress, hunger that's coming on that may not really be hunger, you're going to reach for the first thing there. And that's going to be the horrible toxins that you've accumulated in your cupboards and also in your refrigerator. As we go through this, do not be thinking in your head, well, I can't get rid of that because my child deserves to have this sugary, sweet toxin. All the other kids are eating these sugary, sweet toxins. Why can't my child? Hopefully you're not thinking that, but as silly as that sounds, we have heard this over and over and over again. People try to clean out the kitchen, try to clean up their health, but they leave stuff in there for their children. That makes zero sense to me. If you don't think you should be eating toxins, this poison that we're eating every single day, why would you give that to your kids? First thing, we're going to clean out your kitchen. That means your cabinets and your refrigerator. So the very first thing, let's go to your cabinets, because guaranteed, when you start eating healthy, all your meals are going to be coming straight from the refrigerator. You really shouldn't have any meals in your cupboards at all, because the meals in your cupboards are man-made foods, which means it's all based off glucose, fructose, seed oils, and toxic chemicals. That's all that's in that stuff. There's no nutrients. So anything in a box, bottle, bag, and can, that's what your villains are going to be. So we're going to explain to you exactly how you need to go through. First thing is start taking things out of your cabinets. Clear out a place that you can put all your food. Clear off your dining room table. Clean off your kitchen counters. Clear everything off so you're going to have room to put this food in to organize it. And then you'll just take out one piece at a time. So let's get started. First thing,
you want to look at all your ingredients. And this is probably going to be in every one of those things that you're going to pull out, especially out of your cabinets. You're going to look for sugar, which
before that, you can clean out a lot of stuff by looking at the foods that are expired. You will be amazed. We were amazed, and we don't even have that much on it. Well, I mean, back when we first did but we were surprised at how many expired foods were in there. So that helps right away. If you just, as you start pulling things out and you start organizing them the way you want to, anything that's expired, put that in a section all by itself, because that's going to be getting pitched.
Yep. So, like I said, the sugar, which there's a lot of words for sugar.
It's chemicals, glucose, fructose, and toxic seed oils.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Even foods that say keto, low carb, just you can still look at those. Just read and make sure how many ingredients are in those, because pretty much you don't want any of that.
And remember, you've got to look at the ingredient list. Don't look at the front packaging. If it says made with real avocado oil or low fat, which is actually, if it says low fat, that automatically means you don't want to eat that. But they know that it's marketing. They spend billions of dollars on marketing, so they know what people are looking for. Now, evidently, everybody's talking about protein, how important protein is, which it is, but not in man-made food. That is not the kind of protein you want. But that's what they're doing. So now they're marketing, oh, look, ours has real protein, or ours has protein, and stuff that has always had protein. It's no big deal. Just remember, the front packages, that's your marketing. And even when you read the ingredient list, you're not always getting all the ingredients that are in this food. There's all kinds of ways they hide that too. Just like Tree said with the sugars. Sugar has all kinds of different names. If they just said sugar because they lump your ingredient list according to the whatever's highest in your food, that gets the first one, and then it goes down to what the lowest ingredient is. Well, if they take that sugar and they split that up into all these different words and they aren't all together, then that makes it where it's not top of the line anymore. It's kind of all scattered throughout, and you don't even know that. But if they put all that together and be honest with us, you would know that sugar is going to be almost the main ingredient in almost all these: sugar or high fructose corn syrup and seed oil. It's in everything.
I'm sure you've heard this before, and that there's a reason for that. You want to stick where the dairy is, the meat is, the fruits and vegetables. It's all around the grocery store.
And that's why we call that single ingredient foods. Mm-hmm. You don't have a great big ingredient list of all the chemicals that are on your fruits or on your vegetables. Now, beware, if you're buying them from the store, there are chemicals in and on your fruits and vegetables because the food manufacturers put it there. And they say they're doing it for your own good because they're keeping this stuff ripe longer. It's just more chemicals that you're damaging yourself with. These are single ingredient foods. Meat, you don't have a big label on meat. You don't have a big label on cheese. You don't have a big label on milk. You don't have all these ingredient labels. So that's really what you're trying to, that's your main goal. That's where you're trying to get to, is where you eat all whole, natural, single ingredient foods. So the other chemicals, more chemicals that are in this are all the chemicals like artificial coloring, artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners. Even the term natural flavors really doesn't mean anything because they can hide all kinds of chemicals under the term natural flavors, even if they just have a couple of drops of some kind of natural flavor. There's no regulation on this. Everybody thinks, oh, the FDA really looks at every single manufacturing practice for all our food companies. No, they don't. It is way too overwhelming. And so what they do is they put the food companies in charge. So it's the old fox in charge of the hen house. It doesn't work, and it hasn't been working, and we are all suffering because of it. So remember, artificial coloring, flavoring, sweeteners, natural flavors, that's just more chemicals that we're dealing with. The next one they put in everything is maltodextrin. They put maltodextrin in everything. Maltodextrin is toxic. You do not want maltodextrin in your body. And when you start reading these ingredient labels, you're going to find out is it's in here. Oh, it's in here too. It's even in here because they put this in everything. So if there's any ingredients that you don't know on that label, just put it back. I guarantee it's a chemical. And if you don't know it with your brain, your body doesn't know it also. And so you're putting a toxic chemical in your body that your body's going to try to get rid of. And it does it by setting up an inflammatory response, which just makes you even sicker. So that's the kind of stuff you want to get away from. So remember, as you're looking at these labels, I'll go through it again. Anything that's expired, get rid of it. Anything that has sugar or high fructose corn syrup, get rid of it. Anything that has a seed oil and vegetable oils. Remember, the oils that are good are the fruit oils. Okay, a fruit is a plant that has the seed. It's the ovary of the plant. So avocado's a fruit. Avocado oil is good. Coconut's a fruit. Coconut oil is good. And olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is olive's a fruit. That also is good. But all these safflower oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, Crisco, all this horrible stuff, get rid of all that. And then again, looking at the label, if it has more than 3 or 4 ingredients, you might want to be getting rid of that as well. Just look at the ingredients and see if you know what they are. If it says artificial coloring, artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners, natural flavors, get rid of it. It says maltodextrin, get rid of it. And any ingredients you don't know. And what you're going to find, I guarantee, is going to be the exact same thing that we found. We ended up getting rid of all the food in our cabinets. And that's just the way it is. When you go to our cabinets right now, you see pots and pans. We don't have any box bottles, bags, and cans in there. We have a few things, and we'll talk about those in just a little bit. We have a few things.
Yeah. So and something else you could do is I've heard this before, and I think it's a big thing on TikTok, but you only have ingredients in your home. So if you want something, make it. Mm-hmm. Make it yourself. Don't go to the store and buy it out of a bag or a box. If you really want cookies, make cookies. And there are plenty of recipes out. Now that we have the internet, this is so easy, but you could make a healthier version of cookies that you've been having, that you maybe grew up on. And you could get your kids to help you make these new things that you're replacing, because you want to do this. You want to help your kids live healthier, happier lives. You want yourself to as well. So, cooking together.
And this is huge, because you're not going to have your children with you forever. You are already saying, I wish I would have done this. That was the old you before you say, now I'm going to make the new me. But just think, that's where your kids are now. And you are the one who's deciding what kind of health they're going to have. If you keep feeding them this kind of stuff that got you sick, they're going to get sick even earlier. They're going to be getting sick in their teens and their 20s now, instead of back in the 50s and 60s like we used to, because we're eating this stuff all the time. So if you can teach them these habits right now, it will stay with them through the rest of their life and into your grandchildren's lives. So this is no little thing. Like Teresa said, if you really want cake, if you really want cookies, if you really want something, try to find the healthy version of it. And I guarantee you're going to find it, because there are healthy versions of almost everything out there. And bring your children in, teach them how to eat, make these healthy things. And I guarantee you, when they get out, and our boys did it too. We've got one son who's 32, one that's 28, and they make their own food. They understand what's healthy, and they care about their health, because they also are wanting to have kids, and they want to care about their kids as well. So it just keeps getting better and better when you focus on this.
Correct. So just real quick, let's just run down. We'll name off some foods in case you think you can't eat anything anymore. So you've got meat and fruits and vegetables, and you've got milk, eggs. You got all the yogurts, Greek yogurts, cottage cheese, and cheese.
Anything that comes from an animal is fair game, so to speak. But seriously, anything comes from an animal. So milk comes from an animal. So anything's made with milk, cheese, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, all that's all good. Eggs come from a chicken. Eggs are all good. Chicken's good. Beef's good. All the different meats. Fish are good. The yogurts. So these are good. Again, you can have your fruits and vegetables, depending on where you are. Just be careful. Eat them more like condiment, and only eat your fruits and vegetables when they are, it's called seasonally. If they are not actually actively growing during the time of the year that you're eating those, then I guarantee they're genetically modified, and you should not be eating those. They're just more chemicals and stuff you're putting in your body you don't need to. So the best way to know if something is seasonal, go to a local farmer's market, go to the local farmer. If it's there, that means they just grew it. So it's seasonal. But if you're eating strawberries in the middle of December, guaranteed those are genetically modified. So just kind of keep those in mind. And also remember, if you're having glucose trouble, if you're diabetic, if you're obese, pre-diabetic, if you are, remember, the plants that grow below the ground tend to have more glucose. All plants, anything that doesn't come from an animal that you're eating has glucose in it. They all have carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are just plain glucose. So anytime you look at a label and say, well, I wonder how much sugar's in this, because it's not about the sugar. It's about the glucose and the fructose. But if you just look at how many carbs are in it, that's how much glucose is in it. And remember, 4 grams of carbohydrates is equal to basically a teaspoon of sugar. Just think of it that way. Just remember, if it comes from an animal, you're good. Fruits and vegetables, just kind of be careful depending on your health status right now.
Right. And something else that we do teach whenever we are working with clients is we want you to eat 1 to 3 meals a day. So you've heard of intermittent fasting and, the OMAD, 1 meal a day. But with saying that is that we mean no snacking. So you shouldn't be snacking. There's no reason to snack. That's emotional. That's unless you really, really are hungry. But if you're really hungry, you could probably wait till dinner. But what we also teach people is it's hard when you're very first making these changes, and maybe you are used to eating 5-6 times a day. You eat your 3 meals and then you have a snack.
But the reason for that is because when you eat all this man-made food, they are actually designed. They spend millions of dollars trying to research how can we make this food make people more hungry so they keep eating our food. It is a wonderful, beautiful business plan for them, but it's horrible for you. So the reason you eat every 2, 3, 4 hours is because that's the kind of food that you're eating is making that way. So if it sounds weird that you can go and only eat 1 meal a day, you think, oh my gosh, there's no way I do that. I get hypoglycemic and dizzy and tired and everything else. That's because of the type of food you're eating. When you eat healthy food, when you eat mainly animal-based foods and just fruits and vegetables, more like a condiment, and you will stay full for much, much longer. You will be amazed at how much easier it is when you eat the kinds of foods that your body calls nourishment, because once your body's nourished, it's not going to elicit that hunger signal anymore. That's why it's making you hungry. You still never gave it what it needed. And it needs protein, fat, cholesterol, the vitamins, minerals, and water. That's it. It does not need carbohydrates. It can make all the glucose it needs. As you start eating healthier, you will be able to go longer and longer without eating, keeping your meals down because you're actually nourishing your body.
Right. So we're just going to give you some snacks.
Yeah, these are snack ideas. If you want something, these are some healthy snacks that you can keep around.
So if you have eggs in your house, definitely hard-boiled eggs, even better, deviled eggs. Those are always really yummy. And you can have veggie sticks. Make up ahead of time hamburger patties or meat patties and just have those.
Or even like some chicken, when they drumstick, what do they call it? Chicken wings.
Oh, chicken
wings.
Wings.
Like chicken wings. You can even grill up a bunch of chicken wings and just have those on a plate in the refrigerator. You know, if you just really want something.
Right. That's when you really discover if you're hungry or not. It's like, do I really want a hamburger patty from out of the refrigerator?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, then you kind of start realizing, sardines. It's like, that's when you realize you're not really that hungry. But just to get you started, so you can have cheese sticks. Those are great. And then olives and pickles. I like a charcuterie board. You know, you can make you one of those. So those are great snack ideas.
So those are all snacks that would stay in your refrigerator. But there are some snacks that if you want to keep them in your cupboard, that's fine. And we have a couple of these, but like beef sticks, you know, any kind of meat stick. Be careful with all these things. If now we're going back to the cupboard, which means you're getting something in a package, which means there's an ingredient list. Look at your beef sticks. There are some beef sticks that are very, very good and healthy for you. There are a lot of beef sticks that are horrible. They're going to put high fructose corn syrup in them. They're going to put maple syrup in there. Anything that ends in oats or anything that's syrup, anything like that, they're going to try to put that in there. This is more stuff to try to get you where you get done, you're hungry, and you want to eat more. So stay away from those. Look at your meat sticks and just look at your active ingredients and make sure that you agree with them. Yeah. And then other ones that people eat because they like to have the crunch is pork rinds. Pork rinds are a perfectly good snack. If you can find what kind of oil they fried them in, that would be very, very helpful. If they're pork rinds, seed oils, you just ruined all the healthiness out of it. But if they're frying it in some good tallow or something like that, then those would be some good pork rinds to have around. And we have unsweetened coconut flakes because every night I have a cup of Greek yogurt and I'll put unsweetened coconut flakes and I'll put a scoop of my protein powder in it. Chocolate protein powder and mix that up. And that is my snack every night. I love it. So in our cupboard, we have healthy beef sticks and we have unsweetened coconut flakes. And that's it. The rest of it just pans.
And I know I've been in some kitchens and I know even what mine used to be like. And some of you have so much stuff, even in your cabinets. It's incredible. Now we do have seasonings and spices. So
yes,
we do have that in our cabinets as well. And so that goes back to having all the ingredients in your house to make things. So what you need to do, like he was saying, is clear out your countertops and put everything out. And you will be shocked how much stuff you have.
And
I didn't think we had much.
And you'll be amazed after you do this. We did, and I hope you do. You will actually feel so much better. You'll be like, I had no idea that we had all that toxin in our cupboards this whole time. And now it's clean. Now you feel good. Get rid of the bad stuff and replace it with the new stuff. So when you do go and open your refrigerator or open your cupboard, you're not going to feel guilty for what you end up reaching in there and grabbing until you actually get, where you want to be, where you're not going to be having to go and reach in there all the time.
Right. And just really quick, we have done a video like this before. And in the comments, we had gotten, what are we supposed to do with this food? Just throw it away. That's a waste. It's whatever you think. We think it's a waste to put it in your body or to put it in your children's bodies.
Or to give it to somebody else to put in their bodies.
If you feel better, then you can do that. And maybe eat it yourself and then replace it with something healthier. We didn't do that. We just pitched it all. Once we knew how unhealthy it was, we just knew we didn't want it in our bodies any longer. And we didn't want it in our kids' bodies any longer either, especially not in our house. Because you can't control what your kids are going to eat outside of your home, which is, we'll be honest, that's probably not going to be the best if they go to their friends. But at least in your home, it's safe and they know what they're going to eat. And so As far as getting rid of your food, however you want to do that, we would just get rid of it. I had to say that.
If you want help clearing out the clutter, choosing real food, getting off this diet roller coaster, and you really want to become healthy and you want guidance, then we actually have several Thrive Naturally Transformation courses. We call them our TNT courses because we're going to blow the old you out of there and we're going to make way for the new you. So what we'll do, we're going to focus on the low carb, whole foods, and simple lifestyle changes. And that's what's going to help you to lose weight. It's going to lower your need for medications. It's going to build habits that are going to keep you happy for life. And all you have to do is click the link below if you want to work with us. You don't have to be perfect. Just remember, you do not have to be perfect. Just be focusing on the new you, and you'll take little steps every day. Some people can do this all the way. They can just jump in there, clean out the refrigerator, clean out the cabinets, change your thoughts, and go. Most people can't do that. So at least this will be a step. If you get it out of your house, then you're getting the temptation out of your house. And if you're putting healthy stuff in there, it's going to start getting you in the habit of that. And don't say, oh, I don't like the taste of that. Nobody likes the taste of beer the first time they have it, bourbon the first time they have it, cigarettes the first time. Pick your poison. Most people don't like these when they first taste it. They've acquired a taste. So if you can acquire taste for things that are bad for your body, why can you not acquire taste for things that are good for your body? And that's all you're doing is you're rewriting your brain. You're rewriting your thoughts.
Change your thoughts and then just start with changing your kitchen cabinets.
Until next time, stay nourished and stay well.